Hello, my name is Ryan Ramirez, and this is my video book summary presentation on Jerry Weissman's Presenting to Win. Who is Jerry Weissman? He started his education at NYU for his bachelor's in psychology, then went off to Stanford for his master's in drama and speech, and finally Columbia for his graduate degree in theater and arts. Before his professional career in the business world, he was a producer and screenwriter for CBS. Now, he's the founder of Power Presentations, a public speaking and presentations coach. So, why Presenting to Win? How did Jerry Weissman go from being in the show business to educating hundreds of business executives on how to present a speech? His friend from Stanford University, Ben Rosen, requested him specifically because of his ability to communicate. There was a need in Ben Rosen's company to have Jerry Weissman's education, and this was Weissman's opportunity to start his business. This is how Power Presentations was born. So what is Presenting to Win? This book contains many tools that have helped hundreds of companies develop their own presentation style. It has a strong focus on being mission critical, or being vital towards the functions of the organization, or being intentional towards the company's goal. The art of storytelling is also what Jerry Weissman focuses on, because he saw that his talent for communicating translated very well on creating an effective business presentation. The persuasive techniques in this book can transform a presentation, and it allows the speaker to achieve in the audience what he calls an aha moment. And this will transform our presentations from being ones that don't grab the audience's attention to ones that will make the audience inspired and act on these things. Here is the aha moment that Weissman describes, and he can relate it to in comics, as we see when they have the light bulb over their head. This is what we want the audience to do, to get their reaction and to get them to act on what we present to them. The topics that I will be touching on from Presenting to Win are as follows: the 5 cardinal sins of presentations, persuasion, or getting from point A to point B, starting with the objective in sight, and audience advocacy and WIFI. The 5 cardinal sins of presentations are often involved when a presentation is considered poor. Starting off, when a presentation has no clear point, there's no end in sight, and the audience is left with no reason or rhyme as to why they listened to the presentation itself. Another one is where there's no benefit for the audience. This means that you're just speaking to ears that have information going from one side to another, and there's no reason for them to listen to it. Another is there if there's no clear flow, if there's no reason or no connecting points or linking points that will get the audience to, again, be engaged in what you're saying. Sometimes it can be too detailed, and that's self-explanatory, or too long, where you have their attention maybe at first, and then you took too long to get to the end, and now you're left with an audience that is not engaged anymore. Persuasion, getting from point A to point B. Now what is this? This is effective communication, and it's a goal taking your audience from where they are in the beginning of the speech, or uninformed, to where they're going to be, and where you're taking them and guiding them. This is to when they are inspired and believe in your cause. And this shift from point A to point B is called persuasion. And yes, persuasion is situational. There are many methods of it, and you do it every day in households and social circles, conversations. But just like there are many types of persuasion methods and presentations, the only purpose in any presentation is to inform and to get the objective, the audience, from point A to point B, turning those uninformed audience members to believers. And this can be done with the call to action. The call to action for the audience is not as simple as asking them to buy what you're selling, but it's turning that uninformed audience into the believers through successful transitions from point A to point B. So starting with the objective in sight is a pretty simple concept that I really liked from Presenting to Win. The objective is pretty much the point B of your presentation. So if you start with the objective in mind, often it makes your presentation more organized as a more cohesive story. It's often easy to miss because there are many presentations that don't have the point B in mind, that don't have the goal in their mindset, and this leaves the audience confused. So getting to your point B is very important, and this addresses one of the cardinal sins of not having a point in your presentation. Audience advocacy and Wi-Fi. This is putting yourself in the shoes of the audience and seeing what we would look like from their perspective, what we would want to hear from the presenter. This is related to pathos. It's our ability to emotionally connect to the wishes and desires of the audience. And finally, Wi-Fi, what's in it for you? This is what the audience will ask themselves when you present. What will they gain from this presentation? Even having all of these tools from Jerry Weissman, it's not easy to present. So these three verses, Deuteronomy 31:6, Psalm 23:4, and Psalm 56:3, all revolve around trusting in God so that you don't fear when you present. So first of all, be strong and courageous, do not fear and dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you wherever you go. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow and death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, and your rod and staff comfort me. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Now, relating presenting to win with my career, I want to be an officer in the Navy. And being in the military, especially as an officer, you have higher-ups and you have subordinates. You want to be able to understand where your higher-ups are coming from, and this course really prepares you for that. This book really prepares you for that. And especially when you're talking to your subordinates, you want to be able to inspire them for the mission. You want to be able to inspire your audience, getting them from point A to point B, starting with your objective, knowing the Wi-Fi, knowing what they want to hear, to inspire them. And finally, we're excited, and that concludes my presentation.